And it is a tragedy that began developing last night just after 10 o'clock. And we have learned tonight how this mass shooting expanded to 3 crime scenes. It started with the mass shooting at the Star Dance Studio in Monterey Park, but then moved north to Alhambra to another dance hall where the suspect was disarmed but escaped. And then it moved south to Torrance, where the suspect ended up in a standoff with police and took his own life. We have a team of reporters covering this story tonight that's still developing. We begin with KCAL's Joy Benedict. She's live at the scene at the Star Dance Studio in Monterey Park. Joy?
That's right, Pat. As you mentioned, this incident started 23 hours ago, but investigators with the Sheriff's Department, the FBI, and local law enforcement just left the scene of this dance studio less than 2 hours ago. That tells you just how long they were investigating and, of course, had to go through the painstaking process of the coroner's office removing 10 bodies from inside this dance hall. We are now showing you the backside, which is their main entrance of the dance hall for the first time since all this took place. The gates are closed, the building locked up, and of course the small makeshift memorial starting to finally grow here, and you can bet it will continue to do so as this community is already in mourning. It was a somber night in this Monterey Park community as neighbors stopped by to light candles and say prayers for the lives lost in one of the worst mass shootings in California history.
I think it's pretty tragic for our city to have this happening here.
The disbelief undeniable after a man walked into the Star Ballroom Dance Studio on the eve of the Lunar New Year and opened fire, killing 10 people and sending another 10 to the hospital.
I hope all the victims' families, recover from all this loss.
While detectives worked all night long, the community gathered in prayer, hoping the killer was found.
I still can't believe that it's actually happened, so I need to come here and see it for myself and witness it so I can kind of put myself in a reality check and say, yes, it did happen.
12 hours after the shooting, police officers in Torrance spotted a white van matching the description of the shooters and pulled it over.
When officers exited their patrol vehicle to contact the occupant, they heard one gunshot.
Police say the driver of that van was in fact the shooter they'd been looking for, 72-year-old Hu Can Tran, who they say not only opened fire at the dance studio, but pulled a gun at a second location in Alhambra.
And he was disarmed by 2 community members who I consider to be heroes, because they saved lives.
Police say he killed himself inside the van, and evidence in it linked him to both locations.
The look in the eyes of the homicide investigators and all of their staff, you could just tell they were going to get this guy.
And although nothing will bring back the lives that were lost or repair this community, those who live here say finding the man responsible is the first step toward healing.
I definitely feel safer now.
Now back out here live, the sheriff says that of the 10 people taken to the hospital last night, 7 remain hospitalized tonight. And he credited the quick work of fire department, paramedics, as well as law enforcement officers for saving those that were able to be saved. Obviously, the memorial is going to continue to grow. And I should also mention that the sheriff says they recovered 2 weapons due to all of this. One, the pistol that was found inside the van that they say was used by the suspect to shoot himself. And then they say those good Samaritans, those heroes, as he called it, also recovered what he described as a semi-automatic pistol that was recovered from that scene in Alhambra, making 2 weapons that have been, in fact, found because of all of this. I'll send it back to you, Pat.
All right, Joy. And that last weapon, of course, Sheriff Luna saying that it was illegal to have in California.